Hi, my name is Doug Marshall, and this is part one of two for the first week of the Business Planning with a Process webinar series. This is the week of August the 11th, and this is part one of two. So we are looking at how do we work better with business owners and how do we give them solutions that make sense to them? Because in the next 10 years, 10 million businesses will transfer ownership. That represents over $12 trillion worth of wealth that is in play. And the question is, are we prepared as advisors? Are business owners prepared? And how do we put them in a position where they can make better decisions? We believe that BizEquity, the business valuation software, is changing the game for business owner planning. And so part of this webinar series is to take you through BizEquity, both from getting the data into BizEquity and then putting you in a position where you can interpret the report and use it to create opportunities in the business owner planning space. One of the themes that my partner Peter Velissis and I use is turn understanding into action. In this case, because of the sponsorship of this webinar series, Penn Mutual, we want to make sure that it is clear. We want that action to be for the advisor to sell more Penn Mutual life insurance. This is not purely educational. This is planning with a purpose of selling life insurance to help the business owners protect their business and what it means to them and their family. I'm going to pose this question. What is the one thing you, as a financial advisor, what is the one thing you want to be to the business owner? If you think about it for a bit, you're going to think that you want to be the business owner's most valuable advisor. You want to put yourself in a position where you can help turn the understanding that you've given them into action. Now, we know it's lonely out there in working with business owners. Traditionally, working the business owner market makes more sense if you're doing it in a team approach. The business owners have different planning needs, behavior patterns, and they make decisions differently than the wealthy affluent. So one thing that Peter and I discuss a lot is what is common to all business owners. And one of the things we asked ourselves is, what's the one question every business owner asks every day? Now, Peter and I go back a long, long ways. We've known each other for over 20 years. And we will grind on each other and talk about how we can be more effective in the business owner planning space. And we wrestled with coming up with what is the commonality for all business owners. What's the one attribute that we want for all of our business owner clients? And we want them to be asking one specific question. And that question is, am I better off today than I was yesterday? You know, as a financial advisor, you can go in and talk about buy, sell, and succession planning and retirement planning, estate planning, key employee planning, but you don't know if that's top of mind for any business owner at a particular time. But I can guarantee you that every business owner you want to be working with, you want them to be asking this question every day they walk into their office or their place of business. Am I better off today than I was yesterday? Once you gain their trust, the business owner's trust, and you are in a position where you help them understand that you know where they are, then you're going to help them transfer over into another question, and that is, how do I protect this business that I own? In this day and age where it's hard to get somebody's attention, we think that you need a breakthrough technology and a breakthrough process. The breakthrough technology is BizEquity. BizEquity can deliver business valuations in a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. Here's a good story. You can set yourself apart by using BizEquity, a business valuation software, from everyone else that's in the planning space for business owners. If you can tell business owners what they are worth, you are in a much better position to help them understand what they need to protect. 3 good stories here. KPMG looked at BizEquity and said, whoa, This is a disruptive technology that could definitely screw things up for us because we have a business valuation practice that is very profitable to us. So BizEquity, seeing this as a disruptive technology, took 150 of their clients' data that they had already done valuations for, put it into the BizEquity software, and what resulted was a 3% on average variance from the valuations that KPMG had done and the valuations that came out of the BizEquity software. That is pretty impressive. And ultimately, KPMG decided to become a customer of BizEquity so that for the companies that weren't willing to spend thousands of dollars for business valuations could interface with the BizEquity system that would allow them to get a good idea of the value of their company. The next good story is UBS. UBS just recently decided to put BizEquity on as an enterprise platform into their system to have their advisors be better equipped to work with business owners. And then finally, just announced on August the 12th, American Business Journals, locally it's the Puget Sound Business Journal, but it's the parent company of the Puget Sound Business Journal, took a majority ownership interest in BizEquity, putting BizEquity in a position where it is now owned by a non-financial institution, not an insurance company, a bank, an investment wirehouse. I think this is a great opportunity for BizEquity to grow its business, fulfill its goal of getting all businesses valued. This is very exciting to me because I knew that they needed the investment capital to further their cause of doing business valuations. I mentioned earlier a breakthrough process, and what Peter and I have crafted is the engage, discover, design, and execute process, which we will talk about time and time again. But if you use a process working with business owners, then you are disciplined. I mean, think about this. You can't fly a kite without a string. Using the engage, discover, design, and execute process, knowing where you're going to start and knowing where you're going to end, makes a lot of sense when working with business owners. We start to engage business owners through using the breakthrough technology of BizEquity, and then we launch ourselves into the place where we can start to talk to them about how the business owner can protect their business and put themselves in the position where they are better planning for their future. At the end of the day, everybody knows that you must think differently about working with business owners. Business owners own their own business, which allows them to have the lifestyle for themselves and for their family. We go from valuation to ultimately the exit that the business owner is going to experience, but we need to make sure that they are taking care of their family, they are taking care of their business, they are taking care of their key employees, and through the proper planning process of engage, discover, design, and execute, you're able to establish the instance in which the business owner will see you as the most valuable advisor. You know, only 2% of small business owners know their business valuation. That means 98% don't know. And a lot of the reasons are because business valuations tend to be expensive, time-consuming, complicated, and owners traditionally wait until there is an event that drives them to do valuation. Trust me, a business owner does not want to find out the value of their business at the negotiation table. So, yes, valuations can be very expensive, up to $10,000, even more. Traditionally, it can take 4 weeks or more. And it's an intensive process. I mean, you know business owners, they don't have a lot of time. So you want to provide them with the ability to get valuable information for a low cost and for the least amount of time invested. Some of the things that might motivate someone to do a business valuation is if they're considering selling a business, but there are many other things that should cause them to want to have proper valuation: retirement planning, protection planning, key employee planning, succession planning, estate planning, financing, grants or gifting. These are all reasons to have a valuation. The other thing that I like to add into that is to take advantage of unexpected opportunities. And so here we are. We are engaging by delivering immediate value, which is the business valuation. And really, what we're looking to do is we're looking to combine this breakthrough process of engage, discover, design, execute. And frame it in a way that we are doing two things at the same time all the time. This first part is going to talk about engage and discover. That's the process of getting the information into the valuation system. So it's a discovery process, it's an engagement process, and a discovery process, both for the owner and the advisor. And we'll show how there are certain things that you are learning about a company and a company is learning about themselves in this valuation process. So what is next today? I'm going to walk you through in the next video through the BizEquity input screens. But more importantly, what I want to make sure is that you take a moment to interface with the BizEquity system all on your own. So I'm going to give you an invitation in the next presentation, in the next video, to invite you into my system to put some numbers in. You can play around with it and see how it works, so you can have a little bit better idea of what is going on in the front end, and that will help you appreciate week 2, which is looking at the report that comes out. So we're going to get data into BizEquity, show you how to do that on a fast start basis in week 1, and then in week 2 we're going to look at the report and start designing for cases, and then in week 3 we're going to take a look at some actual case studies. So if you're going to go forward with us here, you're going to have to flip over to the next video, and that will look at the BizEquity input screens, and that will be all for this week's webinar. If you have any questions, my contact information will be at the other end of the next video, and then we can interact either by phone or via email. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will watch the next video. It's very instructive.